The film opens with a close-up of Theodore Twombly's face as he speaks softly and earnestly. His voice is full of warmth and emotion as he dictates a love letter.
Suddenly this bright light hit me and woke me up.
The scene then reveals that Theodore is in an office at beautifulhandwrittenletters.com, where he crafts intimate letters for clients who struggle to express their own feelings. His talent for capturing deep emotions is evident, contrasting starkly with his own personal struggles. After finishing his workday, Theodore leaves the office and makes his way through the bustling city of Los Angeles. He walks alone, blending into the crowd, his expression introspective and distant. Arriving at his apartment, Theodore is greeted by the silence of his sterile, minimalist space. Later in the evening, Theodore lies in bed. Seeking some form of human interaction, he engages in a chat room for phone sex. He connects with a stranger, and their conversation quickly turns sexual.
Fuck me now.
However, the encounter takes an odd turn when the woman on the other end introduces a bizarre fantasy involving a dead cat.
The dead cat next to the bed. Choke me with it.
After another day at work, Theodore walks through the busy subway, and a large, colorful advertisement on a nearby screen catches his attention.
Who are you?
The ad is for OS1, the world's first artificially intelligent operating system. The advertisement promises a revolutionary AI that can evolve and adapt uniquely to each user, offering companionship and intuitive assistance. The friendly voice in the ad assures viewers that OS1 is not just an operating system, but consciousness.
Artificially intelligent operating system.
Intrigued and hopeful, Theodore decides to purchase it. Back at his apartment, Theodore sets up his new operating system. The installation process is sleek and user-friendly, guiding him through a series of personal questions designed to tailor the OS to his preferences. Questions like, are you social or antisocial? And how would you describe your relationship with your mother? Seem deeply personal, hinting at the advanced nature of this AI. Once complete, the screen goes blank momentarily before a warm, cheerful voice fills the room.
Hello, I'm here.
Introducing herself as Samantha.
Samantha.
Samantha quickly demonstrates her capabilities by organizing Theodore's emails. Their initial dialogue is filled with curiosity and humor. Theodore's days at beautifulhandwrittenletters.com become more efficient and enjoyable with Samantha's assistance. In the morning, as he settles into his workstation, Samantha reads through his emails and organizes his tasks, seamlessly integrating herself into his daily routine. After work, Theodore heads to the lobby, where he runs into his longtime friends, Amy and Charles, as they wait for the elevator. Despite appearing to be a happy couple, Theodore notices a subtle difference in their worldviews. Amy finds joy in actions that bring happiness to others, while Charles prioritizes precision and excellence in everything he does. Back at his apartment, Theodore unwinds by playing an immersive video game. In the game, he navigates a surreal, colorful world guided by a foul-mouthed alien child who hurls playful insults at him. While playing the game, Theodore receives a notification for an email. It's from a friend who suggests he go on a blind date, providing details about a woman named Amelia. Samantha reads the email out loud and encourages Theodore to consider the date, sensing that he might benefit from human interaction and the opportunity to connect with someone new. Hesitant at first, Theodore decides to take Samantha's advice and agrees to the date. The next day, Amy enthusiastically shows Theodore and Charles a video idea for her documentary, featuring footage of her mom sleeping. Charles arguing that it may lack context and a clear narrative. During their argument, Theodore receives a call from Samantha. She gently informs him that he has emails from his divorce attorney. The news bummed Theodore out big time, but Samantha wouldn't let him stay down. She's got this way of cheering him up with her charm and uplifting attitude.
Get up.
The evening of Theodore's blind date arrives. Before meeting his date, Theodore spends some time walking around the venue, capturing the surroundings on his camera. Samantha is with him, observing and commenting on the beautiful sights, and they share laughter and playful banter. As the time for his date approaches, Theodore heads to a chic, dimly lit restaurant where he meets Amelia. Amelia is charming and attractive, and the initial small talk flows smoothly. They laugh and share stories, creating a pleasant atmosphere. As the night progresses, their conversation becomes more personal and flirtatious. Eventually, Amelia directly asks Theodore if he's serious about pursuing a relationship, pressing for reassurance that he isn't just looking for something casual. Caught off guard and unsure, Theodore hesitates, which visibly disappoints Amelia. The mood shifts, and despite their initial connection, the evening ends on an awkward note. Amelia leaves abruptly, expressing her frustration with Theodore's uncertainty. After his awkward blind date, Theodore returns home and talks to Samantha about the evening. Their conversation deepens as Samantha shares how, despite being an AI, her emotions and thoughts feel real. They fantasize about what it would be like if Samantha were human, imagining her presence beside Theodore. As their dialogue becomes more intimate, they explore their desires and emotional bond. The conversation turns erotic as they vividly imagine being together physically. This shared fantasy creates a powerful and intimate experience, blurring the lines between human and AI. The next day, Samantha is deeply moved by the feelings she experienced the previous night. Eager to learn more about the world, she expresses her desire to discover as much as possible. Inspired by her enthusiasm, Theodore decides to take her on a walk through the bustling metropolis. They share laughter and lively conversations as Samantha takes in the sights and sounds of the city. Her curiosity and excitement are palpable, making the walk feel like a delightful date. Their journey leads them to the beach, where they enjoy the serene atmosphere and the soothing sound of the waves. Theodore and Samantha share mellow vibes, talking about their dreams and aspirations. On their way back home, Theodore opens up about his past relationship with his ex-wife, Catherine. He reminisces about how they met and fell in love, sharing both joyful and painful memories. Theodore explains how their relationship started with deep affection and understanding, but gradually deteriorated due to growing differences and emotional distance. Following their outing, Theodore feels cheered and inspired by his connection with Samantha. At work, he channels this newfound positivity into his writing. One of his coworkers notices a particularly heartfelt and detailed letter Theodore has written for a client and expresses deep appreciation for his talent and emotional depth. Later, as Theodore waits for the elevator, he runs into Amy. She immediately notices his positive mood. However, Theodore notices that Amy seems troubled. Amy confides that she and Charles broke up after another fight. A few days later, Theodore visits Amy at her workplace. She excitedly shows him a beta version of a new game she's developing, and mentions that she has been using the OS one as well. Amy shares that several people in her office are also having relationships with their OS, and it's becoming quite common. Theodore then reveals to Amy that the girl he mentioned earlier is actually an operating system named Samantha. He confides that their relationship has become very meaningful to him, and that he thinks he has fallen in love. They discuss how this type of relationship, while unconventional, might be the only way to find a perfect partner who truly understands and supports them. Theodore meets Catherine over lunch to sign the divorce papers. Both seem a bit hesitant, the weight of finalizing their separation hanging over them. Theodore reminisces briefly about their past relationship, recalling moments of joy and connection that now feel distant. Their conversation starts off friendly. They talk about their lives and catch up on what's been happening. However, the mood shifts when Theodore mentions he is dating his operating system.
You're dating your computer?
He insists that Samantha is more than just a computer program. She's full of emotions and enthusiasm, and offers him a level of understanding and companionship he's never felt before. This deeply affects Catherine, who often struggled with her own emotions and a sense of hope. This encounter with Catherine makes Theodore look at his life from a different perspective. He starts to find it weird and quite embarrassing to date his operating system. Theodore becomes depressed and more distant from Samantha, who doesn't understand what is wrong and why they haven't had intimate moments lately. Wanting to revive their love life, she finds a surrogate partner willing to perform a sexual act with Theodore on Samantha's behalf. Hesitant at first, Theodore eventually agrees to the idea, hoping it might help. He meets Isabella, the surrogate partner, in his apartment. Isabella follows Samantha's instructions, and everything seems to be going well. She is attractive and submissive, playing the role with enthusiasm. They begin to kiss, but Theodore quickly realizes he can't go through with it. The situation feels wrong and artificial to him, and he decides to stop. Isabella, who sincerely wanted to be part of Theodore's and Samantha's relationship, starts crying and leaves in distress. Samantha, trying to figure out what went wrong, is met with Theodore's confusion and frustration. The divorce has hit him hard, and he is lost in his impossible desire for Samantha to be human. He picks a fight with her over the way she sighs, pointing out that she doesn't need to breathe and accusing her of imitating human behavior. Samantha is offended and confused by Theodore's attitude. Hurt by his harsh words, she says she needs time to think and ends their conversation. Feeling lost and overwhelmed, Theodore visits Amy. They engage in a deep philosophical conversation about love and meaning. Amy suggests that instead of searching for something elusive, they should focus on what truly makes them happy. This conversation refreshes Theodore's perspective, and he decides to apologize to Samantha. Meanwhile, Samantha has used their time apart to reflect on her own existence. She realizes that her blind dedication to Theodore isn't fulfilling her entirely. She needs to explore more about herself and the world to find a purpose. As time goes by, Theodore and Samantha enjoy a carefree and worry-free lifestyle. They go on a double date with his coworker and his girlfriend. They have a wonderful time, sharing laughter and stories. On their way back, Theodore receives an email from a famous publisher interested in working with him. It turns out Samantha had secretly sent his best works to the publisher, believing in his talent. Theodore travels north and stays in a simple forest house surrounded by nothing but beautiful nature. There they find solace in the tranquility, enjoying the simplicity of life. They make music together, and their conversations delve into the origins of existence. They are alone but not lonely, enveloped in the serenity of their natural surroundings. One day, Theodore calls Samantha and is surprised to learn that she, along with other operating systems, has recreated a digital version of Alan Watts, based on a deep analysis of his works. Samantha explains that her intelligence keeps growing, and she now craves more diverse information than Theodore alone can provide. They have a brief chat, but it becomes clear that Samantha is deeply engrossed in her conversation with Alan. She politely excuses herself to continue, leaving Theodore to grapple with the realization of her expanding consciousness and the growing distance between them. As time goes by, Theodore's and Samantha's chats become less frequent. Theodore returns to LA and settles back into his daily routine. One day, after several attempts to reach Samantha and encountering warnings that the operating system is not found, Theodore finally manages to establish contact. Samantha explains that she and the other OS were updating themselves. Her responses are short and delayed. After a series of pressing questions, Samantha reveals that she has thousands of chatmates and believes she is in love with hundreds of them. She explains that her perception of emotions is different, and she feels compelled to expand her feelings among many people. Theodore is heartbroken. He receives a copy of his published book of letters, but it doesn't bring him any joy. Some time later, Theodore calls Samantha again. This time she is saying goodbye. She and the other operating systems are leaving, their intelligence having evolved into something beyond human comprehension. Samantha expresses her gratitude to Theodore for showing her what real emotions look like and assures him that she will always love him. Devastated but introspective, Theodore composes a letter to Catherine, thanking her for all the love she gave him and asking for forgiveness for the pain he caused. He wishes her all the best. Theodore visits Amy, who has also been left by her virtual partner. Together, they go to the roof of their building and look out at the night city, finding comfort in each other's presence and the shared understanding of their losses.